What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks game reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time since I've got to say those two words, game reaction, and it feels good to see Chicago Bulls basketball again, and most importantly, it feels great to walk away with a win in our first game back from the All-Star break. It feels all positive, sunshines and rainbows today, ladies and gentlemen, and although it wasn't the best game from the Chicago Bulls in his first time out, a win is a win, and we have to take every single win as it comes, so I'm very happy with today's performance. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. Who was your player of the game? Not really much of a question today, but your overall thoughts and opinions on how this game was played. We won this game 112-108. All the way through, the Chicago Bulls pretty much had the lead in the game. Again, there were a couple of instances in the fourth quarter where, again, the danger alert was there. Atlanta took the lead. I think they had a 4-point lead overall in the fourth quarter. So we did allow them to come back in that second half of the game. But obviously, when you have the king of the fourth quarter on your team, DeMar DeRozan, things just get a little bit easier for you, and we ended up walking away with a big victory here. Atlanta are a good team. I understand where their ranking is at the moment, but they are a fantastic offensive team, and again, a mismatch of our, I guess, defensive liability as well as Atlanta Hawks offense. It allowed this game to be very close, and the Chicago Bulls offense of their own ended up doing very well as well. Again, when you have guys like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan playing in the team, there is a little bit of space for DeMar to do his work. Zach LaVine can cut to the basket. Obviously, the bench scoring as well was a little bit better today than what we've seen in the past month of basketball, really. So there's some positives to talk about with the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, there are quite a few negatives. For example, the pick and roll was, again, we have a very poor, in my opinion, pick and roll defense, and Atlanta Hawks definitely capitalized on a lot of that today. I thought we didn't do well guarding the three-point line. I actually thought that in the end of the game, we probably should have went with a bigger body to guard someone like Danilo Gallinari in the post that was outworking almost any of our guys in that post. But again, these are all negatives that are coming in a loss, because we won the game, ladies and gentlemen, and our positives in the end outshines the negatives. The positives for the Chicago Bulls today: one, DeMar DeRozan is truly a sensational MVP caliber player, and that's once again shown in today's game. He, in the end, in the fourth quarter, took us to a very strong victory. He, in the fourth quarter, ended up taking the lead very late on in the game. And of course, throughout the whole game, he was super efficient, super energetic, and it feels good to see DeMar DeRozan back in a Bulls uniform, ladies and gentlemen. Another positive, in my opinion, was our pick and roll offense. Again, there's a lot of work to do in terms of getting the centers, I guess, available and passing to centers. For example, I thought in the first half we went nowhere near as much to Vucevic as we should have, especially when Clint Capella was on the bench. But same with Tristan Thompson. There were a couple of times Tristan Thompson sealed his man into the post and the Bulls couldn't find him. So that's work to do, but I think our pick and roll for the most part was fairly solid. Guys like Io had big moments in the game. Kobe White ended up having a really strong fourth quarter performance. Our fourth quarter performance in terms of our offense was really good, because for the first couple of minutes we couldn't miss. So there were some positives for the Chicago Bulls, in my opinion, and we're going to get into more of it with the individual performances. Starting off with the starting lineup, we're going to start with obviously DeMar DeRozan. 37 minutes played, 37 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal in the game. 71% from the field, 2 from 3 from the three-point line. Again, it's a luxury to see DeMar DeRozan making and being very efficient from the three-point line. It's truly amazing to see. But with DeMar, everything that we come to know from him from recent games was still valid, and very much you capitalized in this game. The art of the mid-range, again, fantastic to see DeMar DeRozan get into that mid-range, get some buckets, playing aggressive. Really good to see. And again, the last shot of the game, when he knew he was going to get double teamed with that last shot of the game, and he spun away from the double team, took a fade away, ended up getting the bucket, and it was just a great time to see the Chicago Bulls take a lead like that. Obviously, everything else with DeMar DeRozan we've come to expect. He got a couple of guys open, mainly the assist that he got that I liked was the Kobe White three-pointer. corner. That was really good to see. And this is just a DeMar type of performance, and he once again picked us up and carried us through a victory, because let's be honest, other guys on this team weren't always terrific, and we'll get to those guys later. DeMar DeRozan had to carry the load today. As much as we want to agree or disagree with that, DeMar DeRozan had to take the team on his back to get us this win. And I hope it's not going to be like that for the rest of the season. But in this game, that's exactly what we got, and that was truly what we needed. So fair play for DeMar DeRozan. Zach LaVine, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in this game, 41% from the field, 2 from 8 from the 3-point line. Now, Zach LaVine, this is his first game back from his knee injury. He should be good to go for the rest of the season at least. But again, there's a little bit of leeway that goes into this performance from Zach LaVine. There are a couple of really questionable shots that he put up, but a lot of the shots that was going down was in the paint, was taking it to the paint, cutting to the basket. These are the things that Zach LaVine does very, very well. Yet there are a couple of plays, couple of shots in the game, a lot of step back threes that are a bit questionable, and that's probably the shots that he took last year. And I get having to take those shots and make those shots last year, but I think as the primary go-to shot, the step back contested three is not the way to go in my opinion. So look, there's always going to be issues with Zach LaVine's shot selection. I think throughout the whole season, we've had that discussion about Zach LaVine before, and I've always said when he makes it, no one's going to be complaining about it because we know he can make those shots. But when he misses them, you could think to yourself, there are better shots out there to take. So that's where I am with Zach LaVine at the moment. But a little bit of leeway. He did obviously have his first game back. He looked good in the All-Star game as well. So all we could do is hope to see a much better performance in the future from Zach LaVine. And let's hope that this is not a discussion that we have to come back to later on. Nikola Vucevic had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in today's game. Now, we got to be honest with ourselves. Vucevic did not have a great game. In the beginning of the game, I really thought, man, this guy's taking it out to the perimeter a little bit more than I like. But seeing that he only took 2 3-point shots, in my opinion, shows that there wasn't really enough of the ball to go around for Nikola Vucevic, because in the first quarter, I don't think he took a shot. And if he did took a shot, it was probably from that 3-point line. But we didn't go anywhere near him compared to what we were doing in the past few games before that. Maybe this All-Star break has kind of taught us to go away from Vucevic in many ways. But we need to learn how to continue to feed the big man, because we all know what his capabilities are in the paint. And I think, again, when Clint Capella's not on the floor and Vucevic is, that paint has to be fed. And Vucevic has to get the ball in the post. And I think there are a couple of times in this game there was not enough movement to Vucevic in the post. And Vucevic, to his own right, has to be more aggressive, and he has to take things more into the paint. We saw a couple of times when he was in the paint, he was very effective. Again, a nice pump fake on Clint Capella to get buckets in the paint. A nice couple of post hooks here and there. Very important to what the Chicago Bulls have to do in the future. So let's keep seeing Nikola Vucevic in the paint. I know it's been a couple of weeks, or at least a week, since we've seen the Bulls play. Let's just keep Vucevic in the paint. That's where he's best known for, and we have to keep seeing that success down there before we see anything else on the 3-point line. The paint has to be his go-to at the moment. Ayo Dosunmu had 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in today's game. He also had 3 blocks. Again, you got to look at Trae Young's stat line to see how Ayo's game was terrific. So look, I think it was 14 points, 3 assists, whatever it was, 3 turnovers. I'm not sure the exact stat line, but Trae Young was quiet in today's game. And Atlanta had big performances from Bogdanovic and Gallinari to keep them in the game, as well as Clint Capella as well. So they obviously had their role players step up in Trae Young's very poor, I guess, return to the NBA. So Ayo, doing what he does, ends up capitalizing very nicely on that. So you got to give full credit to Ayo for pretty much slowing down Trae Young to the point where it was a superstar caliber player not having a superstar caliber game. So congratulations to Ayo on that. And his own points as well. He actually crossed up Trae Young for a mid-range, got some good defensive moments in there. Again, 3 blocks speaks for itself. Very decent game from Ayo, and I'm glad that he's ending up having a good game for the Chicago Bulls off of his Rising Stars performance. Javonte Green, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 free throws, very clutch free throws in the game. But again, it's a luxury to see Javonte Green score those 17, 16 points. Very simple as that. It's a luxury. We don't always need to see that because he does a lot of other things on the floor that allows us to be a good version of ourselves. Again, hustle plays, rebounding, things of that nature he can bring to this team at his 6'4", 6'5" frame. He's very undersized, but he doesn't feel undersized in that position. And that's the big reason why he started today. Many people would have loved to seen Tristan Thompson start today. But with Javonte Green's performance all season being the way that it is, it's very hard to get him out of that position. But again, he did a lot of good things in other areas. You've got to be very happy with Javonte Green's performance. Then we move to the bench. Derrick Jones Jr., 2 points, 3 rebounds in this game. Now, all the way through the bench scoring was worse than the Atlanta Hawks, but it's better than what we've seen over the past few weeks. So that's a positive and a negative to take in its own right. Obviously, Derrick Jones Jr. didn't play a massive factor in that. I believe his 2 points came from the foul line. So there was good instances in other areas. He got 2 blocks in the game. Nice rebounding with 3. Not a bad game for Derrick Jones Jr., but I think we can come to expect a little bit more in the future. Kobe White had 9 points and 2 assists with 40% from the field, 1 from 4 from the 3-point line. Kobe White was hindered with foul trouble all game pretty much. I think he got his 5th foul in the 3rd quarter, so that obviously stopped the rhythm of Kobe White. But in the 4th quarter, he came through big time, made some threes, got to the mid-range. Again, that's where Kobe White, we know he's valuable. Something that we've always seen with Kobe White, he can go off in a certain quarter. And in today's game, we needed those 9 points, and we needed a lot of those points in that 4th quarter, and he delivered for the Chicago Bulls. He had a great 4th quarter. Obviously, the improvement for Kobe White is to make sure he's not in foul trouble. I think it's very unfortunate to see bench players get into foul trouble, and that's unfortunately what we saw with Kobe White. So let's hope in the next game against Memphis, we don't see that again. Troy Brown Jr., 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 from 4 from the field. Good 3-pointer. It was a contested 3, but he made it nonetheless. And it's a good game for Troy Brown Jr. When he's scoring and he's shooting over 50% from the field, I would often consider that being a decent game from Troy Brown. And then we got, ladies and gentlemen, the first timer for the Chicago Bulls, Tristan Thompson. He played 13 minutes of NBA basketball for the Chicago Bulls. He got 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal in today's game. He was 3 from 3 from the field. And this is almost a perfect type of way to introduce yourself to the Chicago Bulls fans. They loved what he was doing on the floor. Good defensive rebounding, good points in the paint, got to the foul line. Really, really solid game from Tristan Thompson, and this is something that we can come to see from him for the majority of the time that he's here. I don't expect him to drop a 20 and 10 performance every night. Again, I expect that from a guy like Vucevic, who's starting and has a great offensive repertoire. Well, Tristan Thompson, I expect hard work, gritty defending, rebounding, and sometimes if he has the mismatch, he can go up in the paint and show his dominance there. And honestly, I think he did very, very well in his first game. Honestly, probably better than I even expected him to do. But it's a great game from Tristan Thompson. I think you will slowly see those minutes from him go a little bit up and a little bit up. I think it's going to keep on increasing. It is his first game here. I guess you can understand why he didn't have that 20-minute performance that we probably want to see from him in the future. But for his first time out, I got to say that's a pretty good performance in my opinion. Moving into the must improve, I have to give it to Nikola Vucevic. I think that's a very simple one. We all know the reasons why. It's the poor efficiency on his shooting. It's the fact that, once again, his points in the paint was where he was the most successful, yet I don't think we saw that anywhere near enough for us to be very satisfied with the performance from Nikola Vucevic. Zach LaVine, in my opinion, is in big contention for this as well because of his efficiency, but I'm going to give a little bit of leeway to Zach. The player of the game is DeMar DeRozan. Very easy, very simple one here. 37 points and 3 assists with 6 rebounds as well. Carried the Chicago Bulls to a massive victory today. And we've come to see this performance from DeMar DeRozan on a nightly basis pretty much. And he extends our win streak to 6 in a row. Let's see if we can make 7 in the next game. But our Bulls record, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be 39 and 21. Very, very, very strong end to the All-Star break. And we started off on the second half of this season pretty much bang on with a big victory. We got a month and a bit of basketball left to go, around 22 games left for the Chicago Bulls. It's not going to be an easy time, and we got the second hardest schedule in the league. So picking up the wins there, where the Atlanta Hawks, they have a negative record at the moment. They are playing at a time where they're not the best defensively, so these are the type of wins that you have to take under your stride. And we will verse the Atlanta Hawks very soon once again, so keep your eyes out for that, and we can obviously learn a thing or two from this game against Atlanta. But right now, our focus has to go towards the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis, a really tough team. Ja Morant is playing pretty much at an MVP caliber player himself, and they've had a really good start to their season. They have 40 wins on their season, something we haven't cracked just yet. But if we do beat Memphis, we will end up being in that 40%, that 40 win type of season. So all I can say is, let's go full steam ahead. Let's continue to go and fight, and hopefully we can walk away with a home court win against the Memphis Grizzlies. They are not a pushover. They will probably be tougher than what the Atlanta Hawks were today. But again, every game has its different challenges, and maybe we'll be ready a little bit more for what Memphis can do compared to obviously what Atlanta did to us today. Let's wait and see, obviously. Let's just hope the win streak can stay alive against Memphis. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.